All right, well, let's head back down to Chuck in Gulfport, Mississippi, the president's first stop today on his tour of these 3 states. Chuck, what can you tell us?
All right. Well, thanks, Savannah. Well, look, BP says some 27,000 people are involved in the cleanup effort, and yet there are folks that have volunteered and have been turned away. And one person that has set up a big website, Don Abrams from nearby Ocean Springs, here in Mississippi, has set up a volunteer website and has been rejected basically since the second week of the spill by BP and government officials from using this list. So let me just ask you, have you made any progress with taking this list of volunteers that you've compiled online and getting folks to work?
Yes, but not through BP. We tried for about 4 weeks to deal with BP, beginning on May 1st. We tried to turn over our volunteer list to them, and we tried to turn over the entire website to them, and we were unsuccessful. On May 24th, I finally sent a gentleman in Houston a note and said, it's time to tell us what you intend to do.
Sure.
I've still not received a response from that.
How many names have you gathered?
Just under 7,900.
And these are from people all over the country?
All over the country. We had 54 Canadians that volunteered. We had petroleum geologists from South America. And that was within the first 8 days the site was open.
Now, some local officials will argue, well, volunteers are nice, but we want to put some people to work because there's a whole bunch of folks here, and that is what BP is saying. Hey, look, we got to pay these folks because we've got to train them, we've got to hold them accountable. What do you say to that?
I have to agree with them, but on May 13th, we turned over a list of about 100 highly qualified people to BP, including people with 2 to 3 decades of offshore experience, offshore oil industry experience, people with experience in spill cleanups, people who are HAZWOPER instructors. As of 2 days ago, I've contacted about half of those people, and none of them have been contacted by BP.
And so their expertise, at this point, you were looking to see if maybe BP wanted to use them as foremen for training folks that they were paying?
Well, we were hearing that BP needed people through their contractors, qualified people, and one of the reasons volunteers weren't used is that they didn't have these certifications and qualifications which are required by OSHA.
Right.
That's a valid thing, and a lot of the people that volunteered didn't understand that. However, we have presented them with, I think we've sent them 3 batches of these highly qualified people, and to my knowledge, not a one of them has been contacted.
Now, you said you've given up on BP and the federal government as far as turning over a volunteer list, but you're using some state organizations. What are you doing?
Right. Within 2 days after that last email to BP on the 24th of May asking for their intentions, we were able to transfer almost everyone to the 4 state agencies. Very early in the process, we shut the website down for volunteer registration on May 7th with 7,881 volunteers.
So you haven't collected a name in over a month and you already had 7,000?
Yes, yes, nearly 8,000. The same afternoon, we successfully transferred 6,000 of those people who indicated that they had an interest in wildlife rehabilitation to the Audubon Society.
And they're using them?
They're using them, yeah.
All right. Well, Don Abrams, thanks for your efforts. Thanks for joining us. And, we'll see if at some point maybe the government will have a call for volunteers.
Well, it's looking less likely.
All righty. Well, thanks for your efforts and thanks for joining us this morning. All right, Savannah, this has been one of the frustrations that we wanted to answer. We've been getting a lot of viewer mail, both here and at NBC Nightly News, and Brian Williams have been getting a lot of emails saying folks have been trying to volunteer to help and had not been put to work, so at least we're getting an idea of some of the obstacles to this issue of volunteering to help with the cleanup.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's simple in concept, but perhaps difficult in execution, Chuck. All right, we'll check in with you in a little bit.